Hello and welcome to beautiful Cotswold Airport. Guys, today I'm going to be taking a tour of the British Airways Negus 747. One of the great tragedies within the aviation world during the COVID-19 pandemic was the retirement of these incredible aircraft. This one just behind me here was due to fly for a good number of years more. Today, it's been donated here to Cotswold Airport by British Airways and I get to tour it, so can't wait to show you all around. Our tour kicked off around the magnificent Rolls-Royce 747-400 Trent engines. Each of these engines would have been enough to provide £59,000 worth of thrust and would weigh about the same as a Range Rover. It was incredible to get up close to each of these. Many of you watching may already be wondering why is this 747 called Negus, and that is the name of the livery. So this was used throughout the 70s and 80s by British Airways. It eventually gave way to the Landor livery, but that is the name that this one went by. In 2019, to celebrate British Airways' centenary year, they had 3 747s painted in the various different historic liveries over the years, and this was one of 3 that was put together to celebrate that. Tours aboard this particular 747 are available both during weekdays and during the weekend. I couldn't wait to get up those historic steps to jump on board. The very first stop on board was a visit to the purser's office. This would have been the most senior member of cabin crew on board and the person responsible for running the cabin during the flight. What I love most about this particular aircraft is it was in the exact condition that it was the day it was handed over from British Airways. So there was all sorts of little mementos and knickknacks all around the cabin, with it being left in such a genuine state. The tour itself was self-guided, so I helped myself to the premium economy section next. The seats here were laid out in a 242 configuration and was British Airways' very first premium economy product globally. These seats are still really comfy even today. On this fairly rare 747 configuration, premium economy actually sits ahead of the main business class cabin. That's exactly what you can see just here, with the seats laid out in a 242 configuration as part of the older outgoing Club World product. It wasn't long though, and I was super excited to head up those famous stairs to check out the upper deck. As you transcend these steps, immediately on the right-hand side is the small crew rest area with a main galley that would have served the upper deck business class passengers back in the day. The upper deck area featured a total of 20 passenger seats laid out in a 2-2 configuration, with the cockpit being, of course, right at the end. More on this one in just a moment, but for now I'll hand you over to myself to do a brief piece on the upper deck. So now we're on the upper deck. So this is where British Airways put their Club World product. Up here it's just a 2-2 configuration. This product used to get an awful lot of criticism for having a lack of storage. Personally, I feel as though this was a great area to fly. So welcome to seat 63K on board. This was one of the upper deck Club World seats. This is where I flew on a trip over to Philadelphia, one of my favorite seats on board. It's on the upper deck, so it's just the 2-2 configuration, and with the privacy divider up just here, it makes for an incredibly private space. One of the big advantages though is the extra storage on board. So here you would have all of the lockers across this particular space, giving you all of that extra storage, but an absolutely phenomenal view out the window. Let me see if I can show you. And the view to which, of course, I speak is this one out of the window just here. Because of the rear-facing orientation of the seats, this did take a bit of getting used to, but did afford for some super views back out. Next, it was on to the cockpit. This was truly a remarkable view through. They will be looking to do cockpit tours at a later date, and this is certainly something that I'm going to be looking to get myself on. The 400 series, of course, bought those electronic screens for the very first time, and even now brings back some fantastic childhood memories. Heading down the stairs, you see the club kitchen where business class passengers could have grabbed a few snacks during the flight, but of course it was then on into the nose of the aircraft to check out first class. And welcome to the nose of the 747. So this is where British Airways put their first class product, laid out in a varying configuration, either 1-1 or 1-2-1, depending on the width of the nose that it was in. Best seats for sure, either for couples or for solos, with those two at the front. British Airways for years called this the Mick Jagger seat. This is where he came and famously sat often when he was on board with his wife. Having flown the product over the years with other airlines in the nose, this was a great place to sit, particularly as those windows start to curve around to the front. And it was, of course, incredibly private, given the fact that no one would have a reason to walk past. These two seats here for sure really are the best way to fly. Although I've been fortunate enough to sample first class on board, sadly this was never on board one of the 747s. To see it on board in line with the service offering that you would get today in terms of that incredible seat was something really very special, and I'm sure for those that got to fly it over the years, it really was an incredible experience. Alrighty, so let's check out the first class seat on board. This product that they have on board is still their current product across their modern fleet, so it's great to be able to check out what it would be like on board. So let's jump into one of these window seats just on the side. This would of course be the pick of one of the seats to go for. Let's check it out. Okay, so jumping into one of the window seats here, as mentioned, this would have been the pick of one of the seats to be in on board. It has a couple of windows just here and would have had automatically lowering blinds just across. If you want to check out my review of the product on the channel, I will link it just in below. It was a really cool feature to have. When sat back in the seat itself, it really did have a nice amount of space and indeed privacy as well. So that concludes my tour of this incredible aircraft. I will leave you with some exterior shots to enjoy. As ever, thanks so much for watching and stay tuned for loads more real soon.